Right now, there is almost certainly food sitting in your refrigerator that you are planning to reheat later today. Rice from last night, leftover chicken, cooked spinach, eggs you scrambled this morning, and like most people, you have been reheating these foods your entire life without giving it a second thought. Heat it up, eat it, move on. Here is what nobody has told you. When certain foods are reheated, foods that are considered healthy, foods that doctors and nutritionists routinely recommend, they undergo documented, scientifically verified chemical transformations. Transformations that produce compounds your body was never designed to process repeatedly. Compounds with a direct and measurable connection to cancer risk. You cannot see these changes. You cannot smell them. The food looks exactly the same, but at the molecular level, something has changed, and those changes accumulate in your body silently, over months and years. My name is Dr. Henry. I have spent years studying the relationship between food science, cooking methods, and preventive medicine. And today, I am going to show you 4 foods that you are almost certainly reheating and explain exactly what happens inside each of them when heat is applied a second time. Stay with me until food number 4, because the 4th food on this list is one that virtually every health-conscious person considers completely safe. That assumption is one of the most common and dangerous mistakes I see. Before we continue, leave a comment below and tell me, which of these 4 foods do you reheat most often? I read every comment, and your answers genuinely shape what I cover next. Before I give you the 4 foods, I need to give you 2 minutes of food chemistry. Please do not skip this section. It is the key to understanding everything that follows. When food is cooked for the first time, heat produces predictable and generally manageable chemical reactions. Proteins unfold, starches change structure, fats begin to break down. These are normal processes that have taken place in kitchens for thousands of years. However, when you reheat food that has already undergone these changes, particularly food that has spent hours or days stored in a refrigerator, something fundamentally different begins to occur. There are 3 mechanisms you need to understand. I will keep them simple. Mechanism 1, oxidation. Fats and proteins that have been exposed to oxygen during storage become chemically unstable. When heat is applied again, these already weakened molecules break down further into compounds called lipid peroxides and malondialdehyde. Both of these are well-documented agents capable of damaging DNA. Mechanism 2, advanced glycation. When proteins and sugars are repeatedly exposed to high temperatures, they produce compounds called advanced glycation end products, or AGEs. These compounds promote chronic inflammation, and chronic inflammation is one of the primary biological drivers of cancer development. Mechanism 3, nitrosamine formation. Certain foods, particularly those naturally high in nitrates, undergo bacterial conversion while sitting in your refrigerator. When these foods are then reheated, nitrates convert into nitrites, which can further transform into nitrosamines. The World Health Organization classifies nitrosamines as probable or confirmed carcinogens. 3 mechanisms: oxidation, advanced glycation, nitrosamine formation. Keep these in mind as we go through each food, because you will see one or more of them at work in every single example. Food number 1, cooked rice. Rice is the most widely consumed food on Earth. More than 3 billion people depend on it as their primary source of calories, and billions of those people reheat leftover rice every single day. It is a deeply ingrained habit across virtually every culture in the world. The problem with reheated rice has very little to do with the reheating process itself. It has everything to do with what happens during the time the rice spends in your refrigerator between the first cooking and the second. As cooked rice cools, it becomes an almost ideal environment for the growth of a bacterium called Bacillus cereus. This is not a rare or exotic contaminant. It is naturally present in raw rice. It survives the initial cooking process, and it can multiply rapidly in cooked rice that is stored, whether at room temperature or in the refrigerator. Here is the critical point that most people do not understand. When you reheat the rice, the heat may kill the bacteria themselves, but it does not destroy the heat-resistant toxins those bacteria have already produced during storage. Those toxins survive the microwave, they survive the stovetop, and they enter your digestive system completely intact. But the bacterial toxins are not the primary cancer concern with rice. The deeper concern is this: Bacillus cereus produces a toxin called cereulide. Laboratory studies have demonstrated that cereulide can damage the mitochondria inside human cells. Mitochondrial dysfunction is recognized as one of the early biological events that can contribute to malignant cellular transformation, the process by which a healthy cell gradually becomes cancerous. There is a second concern. Repeated heating of starchy foods increases the formation of acrylamide, a chemical compound produced when natural sugars react with the amino acid asparagine under high heat. The International Agency for Research on Cancer classifies acrylamide as a group 2A carcinogen. That classification means it is probably carcinogenic to humans. So what should you do instead? Cook rice fresh whenever possible. If you need to store it, spread it on a shallow tray immediately after cooking so it cools rapidly. Refrigerate it within 1 hour. Consume it within 24 hours. And never reheat rice more than once. Food number 2. Cooked chicken. Chicken is the world's most popular lean protein. Doctors, dietitians, and health-conscious families all recommend it. Meal prep culture has made reheated chicken a daily habit for millions of people who genuinely believe they are making one of the healthiest food choices available. This is where the problem begins. When proteins, particularly those found in animal muscle tissue, are exposed to high temperatures for a second time, they undergo a process called protein oxidation. One consequence of this process is the formation of compounds called heterocyclic amines, or HCAs. HCAs are not a controversial or disputed topic in nutritional science. They are among the most extensively researched dietary carcinogens in the scientific literature. The mechanism of harm is well established. Once HCAs enter the body, liver enzymes metabolize them into highly reactive compounds that can bind directly to DNA. This interaction with DNA can produce genetic mutations. Mutations affecting critical genes, particularly tumor suppressor genes, represent one of the primary mechanisms through which cancer begins. A study published in the journal Carcinogenesis found that individuals who frequently consumed reheated poultry had a statistically significant increase in the risk of colorectal cancer. Separate research from the Harvard T.H. Chan School of Public Health found that frequent consumption of reheated processed chicken was associated with an increased risk of pancreatic cancer, one of the most difficult cancers to treat, with a 5-year survival rate of approximately 11%. I want to be precise here. The risk is not from chicken itself. Chicken is a nutritionally sound food. The risk is specifically from the chemical changes that occur when already cooked chicken is reheated at high temperatures, particularly in a microwave where heat is uneven and localized hotspots can dramatically accelerate oxidation reactions. So what should you do instead? Whenever possible, eat leftover cooked chicken cold, in salads, wraps, or sandwiches. If reheating is necessary, use the lowest effective temperature and avoid overheating. Never reheat chicken more than once. And if you regularly prepare large batches of chicken for meal prep throughout the week, consider whether the convenience is worth the repeated chemical exposure. Food number 3. Spinach and nitrate-rich leafy greens. Food number 3 is the one that I find most important to communicate clearly, because it specifically affects people who take pride in eating well. Spinach is arguably one of the most celebrated vegetables in modern nutrition. It is rich in iron, folate, magnesium, and powerful antioxidants. Oncologists, cardiologists, and nutritionists consistently recommend eating more of it, and they are completely right when spinach is eaten fresh or cooked once and consumed immediately. The problem arises when cooked spinach is stored and then reheated. Spinach, along with celery, beets, lettuce, and Swiss chard, is among the richest dietary sources of naturally occurring nitrates. In their natural form, these nitrates are beneficial. They support cardiovascular health and help regulate blood pressure. However, once cooked spinach is placed in the refrigerator, naturally occurring bacteria on the surface of the leaves begin converting those nitrates into nitrites. This is the same chemical conversion that occurs in cured and processed meats, and it is one of the reasons the World Health Organization classified processed meat as a Group 1 carcinogen in 2015. Group 1 means the evidence that it causes cancer in humans is conclusive. When spinach that has been refrigerated for 24 hours or longer is then reheated, you are applying heat to a vegetable that has already undergone substantial nitrate to nitrite conversion. Under heat, those nitrites react with amino acids present in the spinach and later in your stomach to produce nitrosamines. Nitrosamines are among the most potent dietary carcinogens identified by modern science. Epidemiological research consistently associates high nitrosamine exposure with an increased risk of gastric, esophageal, and colorectal cancers. The European Food Safety Authority has issued formal guidance specifically warning about the potential risks associated with reheating nitrate-rich vegetables after refrigerated storage. Consider what that means for a moment. One of the healthiest foods on Earth can become a source of carcinogenic compounds through nothing more than a storage and reheating habit practiced every week by millions of health-conscious people who have no idea this is happening. I want you to think about that. So what should you do instead? Cook spinach and other leafy greens fresh whenever possible and eat them immediately after cooking. If you have leftovers, consume them cold within a few hours. Do not refrigerate cooked spinach with the intention of reheating it later. If you absolutely must store it, keep it in an airtight container, consume it within 6 hours, and eat it cold rather than reheating it. Food number 4. I told you the fourth food would surprise you. Eggs. Eggs are among the most nutritionally complete foods available. They contain all 9 essential amino acids. They provide choline, an essential nutrient that supports brain function. They contain selenium, an important mineral involved in antioxidant defense. They carry lutein and zeaxanthin, 2 antioxidants that protect both eye health and cellular health. By virtually every nutritional standard, eggs are one of the healthiest foods you can eat, and that is precisely why what I am about to tell you matters so much. Reheating eggs, particularly scrambled eggs or hard-boiled eggs, creates a specific and frequently overlooked chemical problem that very few people discuss. Eggs contain approximately 13% fat, with most of that fat concentrated in the yolk. When an egg is cooked for the first time, the fats in the yolk undergo an initial stage of oxidation. This is a normal and expected process. However, when a cooked egg is refrigerated and then reheated at high temperature, those already oxidized fats undergo secondary lipid oxidation at a significantly faster rate. The byproducts produced during this process, particularly malondialdehyde and oxysterols, are now well documented in the scientific literature. Oxysterols deserve particular attention. These are oxidized forms of cholesterol that develop specifically when foods containing cholesterol are repeatedly heated. A comprehensive review published in the journal Food and Chemical Toxicology concluded that oxysterols possess pro-inflammatory and, most critically, cytotoxic and genotoxic effects on human cells. Genotoxic. That word is important. It means toxic to the genetic material inside your cells, your DNA. By definition, genotoxic compounds are considered potential carcinogens because they can produce DNA strand breaks and genetic mutations that initiate the chain of events leading to cancer. There is an additional concern. When cooked egg proteins are exposed to excessive heat for a second time, particularly during rapid microwave reheating, they undergo further protein denaturation. These proteins form abnormal crosslinks that make them significantly harder for your digestive system to break down. Research suggests that sulfur-containing amino acids naturally present in eggs can degrade during repeated heating, and the degradation products may contribute to oxidative stress within the lining of the digestive tract. Persistent oxidative stress in the gastrointestinal mucosa is considered one of the major proposed mechanisms involved in the development of colorectal cancer, the third most common cancer worldwide, responsible for nearly 1 million deaths every year. So what should you do instead? Eggs are best eaten immediately after cooking. If you prepare eggs in advance, store hard-boiled eggs with their shells still on and eat them cold. Avoid reheating scrambled eggs or omelets in the microwave. If you need to warm an egg-based dish, use gentle indirect heat at very low temperature. Never heat egg dishes to temperatures exceeding 165 degrees Fahrenheit. I want to tell you about a patient I will call Patricia. Patricia was 56 years old, a retired teacher, meticulous about her health. She exercised regularly, avoided processed food, and took her diet seriously. By most measures, she was doing everything right. When she came to see me, she mentioned almost in passing that she had been experiencing persistent digestive discomfort for several months. Nothing dramatic, just an ongoing sense of irritation that she had been attributing to stress. During our conversation, I asked her about her eating habits. She described a routine that will sound familiar to many of you. She cooked large batches of food on Sundays: rice, chicken, spinach, eggs, and reheated portions throughout the week. She was proud of it. It was efficient, organized, and she considered it one of the healthiest approaches to eating she could manage with her schedule. She had never been told that the foods she was preparing so carefully were undergoing chemical changes every time she reheated them. Nobody had ever explained this to her. Patricia's situation was caught early and managed appropriately. But her story stays with me. Because she was not making careless choices. She was making the best choices she knew how to make with the information she had. That is the gap this video exists to close. Let me bring all 4 foods together. Rice. Reheating cooked rice can reactivate heat-stable bacterial toxins produced by Bacillus cereus during refrigerated storage. It also promotes the formation of acrylamide through repeated high-heat exposure. Chicken. Reheating cooked chicken at high temperatures promotes the formation of heterocyclic amines through protein oxidation, along with lipid oxidation byproducts. Spinach and leafy greens. During refrigeration, bacterial activity converts naturally occurring nitrates into nitrites. Reheating then triggers nitrosamine formation. Eggs. Repeated heating promotes the formation of oxysterols, oxidized cholesterol derivatives with documented genotoxic activity, as well as secondary lipid oxidation products. Here is exactly what I want you to do with this information. These steps require no special equipment, no supplements, and no drastic lifestyle changes. Just small, informed decisions that substantially reduce your long-term exposure to these compounds. Step 1. Cook rice fresh whenever possible. If you must store it, cool it within 1 hour, refrigerate immediately, consume within 24 hours, and never reheat it more than once. Step 2. Eat leftover cooked chicken cold whenever possible, in salads or wraps. If reheating is necessary, use the lowest effective temperature and avoid the microwave. Step 3. Do not reheat cooked spinach, Swiss chard, beet greens, or celery. Eat them cold or prepare them fresh. Store cooked leafy greens for no longer than 6 hours before consuming them cold. Step 4. Cook eggs fresh whenever possible. Store hard-boiled eggs unpeeled and eat them cold. Never microwave scrambled eggs or omelets. Step 5. Invest in a food thermometer. Gentle reheating below 165 degrees Fahrenheit significantly reduces the formation of many of the compounds discussed in this video compared with high-temperature methods. Step 6. Avoid reheating any food more than once. 1 cooking, 1 reheating. After that, discard the leftovers. Step 7. Plan your portions carefully so you produce fewer leftovers in the first place. That single behavioral change is the most effective thing you can do. When I first reviewed the scientific research on reheated foods, When I read the literature on nitrosamine formation, heterocyclic amines, and oxysterols, my first reaction was not fear, it was frustration. Frustration because this information is not hidden. It has been published in peer-reviewed scientific journals for years. It appears in guidance from the European Food Safety Authority, the World Health Organization, and numerous public health agencies around the world. Yet, somehow, it almost never reaches the dinner table. There are children eating reheated rice and eggs in school lunches every day. There are older adults reheating leftover chicken every evening simply because they live alone and it is convenient. There are health-conscious people reheating spinach every week, convinced they are making one of the best dietary decisions possible. None of these people are doing anything wrong. They simply have not been given this information. Now you have it. Before I finish, I want to ask you something. Which of these 4 foods surprised you the most? Was it rice, the food almost everyone reheats without a second thought? Was it chicken, the protein that millions of people consider the gold standard of healthy eating? Was it spinach, the vegetable that every health expert encourages you to eat more of? Or was it eggs? Leave your answer in the comments below. And if there is a specific food you regularly reheat that you would like me to investigate in a future video, leave that in the comments as well. I read everyone. If this video has given you information that changes how you think about your kitchen habits, please subscribe to this channel. Every week, I release a new video with the kind of practical, evidence-based health information that rarely makes it into a standard medical appointment. And share this video with someone you know who reheats leftovers regularly. Not to frighten them, simply to give them the same information you now have, because they deserve the opportunity to make informed decisions about their health just as much as you do. I am Dr. Henry. Take care of yourself, and I will see you in the next one.